Neurological disorders, lesson 5.3. Should animals be used in scientific research? The goals of this lesson are to prepare students for the virtual cocaine lab and provide students with information from the various perspectives on animal use in scientific research. At the end of this lesson, students should be able to explain that there are different perspectives on the use of animals in scientific research and explain their own view on the use of animals in research, taking into account the many aspects of the issue. We'll achieve these goals with a structured academic controversy and reflection in writing. To prepare for this lesson, you'll need to review the key scientific concepts that will be presented in it. They include the perspectives on animal use in scientific research, including those of the National Institute of Health, NIH, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, PETA, Americans for Medical Progress, Understanding Animal Research, and the Humane Society of the United States, and an awareness of the key aspects of the issue that explain each of the perspectives' view on animal use in research. Those aspects include the historical precedents, benefits and problems that have developed because of animal use or non-use, use of animals in research and considerations for their care, and the ideal relationship between humans and animals. You can review this scientific content in the background reading provided to you in the teacher primer, the teacher manual, and student workbook. The teacher primer provides in-depth knowledge about the scientific content presented in the lesson. The teacher manual or lesson plan provides a minute-by-minute explanation of lesson structure, including instructions on how to manage the discussion and activity, and the student workbook provides additional explanation for your students. You'll need to be sure to print the homework reading and homework worksheet for your students. The key point of the lesson's do now is to summarize the research perspective's view on animal research. We'll get there by reviewing the homework. In the do now, students divide into groups based on the perspective for animal research that they read about last night. Once within their group, students review the homework questions, which summarize the perspective's view on animal research. The key point of the activity is that there are many perspectives on animal use in scientific research. 5 of the most prevalent perspectives are from the National Institute of Health, NIH, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, PETA, Americans for Medical Progress, Understanding Animal Research, and the Humane Society of the United States. We'll get there with a structured academic controversy. During the structured academic controversy, student groups will present a perspective's view on animal use in scientific research. You'll need to remind the students that, as always, proper classroom etiquette is expected and required. The goal of this exercise is to understand the different perspectives on animal research, that only once you have thoroughly investigated all viewpoints can you come to an educated decision on what you believe. The 5 perspectives included within the lesson are the National Institute of Health, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, Americans for Medical Progress, Understanding Animal Research, and the Humane Society of the United States. You'll lead the structured academic controversy by having each student group present their perspective's view on key aspects of the issue. The students completed a homework worksheet that guided them to take notes on those key aspects, which are the historical precedents, the benefits and problems that have developed because of animal use or non-use, the use of animals in research and considerations for their care, and the ideal relationship that should exist between humans and animals. You can review all of this information in the homework worksheet answer key. It is everything organized just as your students will be organizing it. Additionally, the teacher primer and teacher manual go over all of these key issues. After the student groups have presented their perspective's view on animal use in scientific research, you use the questions on slide 5 to allow students time to reflect on what they believe. Since we're now switching to discuss students' belief, this part of the lesson works well as a journal reflection. The key point of the wrap-up is to prepare for tomorrow's activity, a virtual cocaine lab testing dopamine's involvement in drug-seeking behaviors. We'll get to this key point with a Socratic discussion. In the wrap-up, you'll tell the students that we discussed animal research today because tomorrow we'll complete a virtual cocaine lab based on research done with animals. Because the lab requires an understanding of the reward circuit, you'll also review it and discuss some of the key points and questions that we have when studying addiction. That we know that dopamine levels rise after taking a drug, but does dopamine have anything to do with wanting a drug? And how would you test if dopamine was involved? The key point of the homework is to prepare for tomorrow's activity. both to get an overview of the lab and lab procedures, and also to focus on the hypothesis of the experiment that dopamine is involved in cocaine-seeking behaviors. We'll get to this key point with a homework reading and worksheet. To prepare for the virtual cocaine lab, students will complete a homework reading that outlines the lab and lab procedures, as well as focuses them on the hypothesis being tested in the experiment. To guide them to the important details in the reading, students also complete a homework worksheet. Those classes using this lesson have found that it's helpful and provides a meaningful discussion on an important issue in science. One of the most common concerns I hear from teachers is, animal use in research is a controversial issue, and I don't want any of my students to feel like their beliefs are on trial. This is a really important issue to address. We chose to use a structured academic controversy because it allows for various perspectives to be discussed and prevents students from potentially feeling that they alone hold an unpopular opinion and that they need to defend that opinion. Since students work in small groups to research and present various perspectives on the issue of animal use in research, no one student would ever need to be singled out for his or her belief. At the end of this lesson, students should appreciate that there are many different perspectives on the issue of animal use in research. Since this entire module has used data from animal research, and more will be used in the lessons to come, this lesson finally addresses the elephant in the room and allows for a meaningful discussion on an important issue in all of science. Don't forget, if you have any questions, concerns, or feedback, to let us know. You can contact any of the CTSE team members and we'd be more than happy to help you.